What is going on, everybody? It is episode 939 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I'm here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, and guess what? We have Tate Tuesday back.
It's back once again.
Back. I'm back. It feels good to be back.
Back from the dead.
How you doing, buddy?
I almost forgot what pop culture even was, so this is a good refresher.
Well, today's okay, so I would like to hereby declare today the internet edition, because there's very little in the way of Hollywood, but there's a lot in the way of internet culture.
There's
and that's
not
okay.
a lot going on in the Hollywood space.
I did a video today that will come out tomorrow on Warner Brothers officially opening up to the public about acquisition for the company. They put out a press release today basically saying, look, we're still going to be splitting Warner Brothers and Discovery into separate companies because we're Hollywood and we do funny money and funny bookkeeping and funny ledgers. But they're opening up with the recent offer from David Ellison over at Paramount Global. They're like, look, people want to buy our company, so we're going to open it. We're going to be open to other offers. I did a video on that today that will come out tomorrow at 10 a.m. So you should tune in for that. But I was like, I don't think anybody here wants to listen to me talk about this company owns these brands.
Wait, so Paramount is going to do a merger with Warner Brothers?
No. Paramount put an offer in last week, and David Zaslav turned it down.
It might happen still?
As of right now, it's not just Paramount Skydance that wants in. It's NBC Universal through Comcast.
But it might be Paramount?
It could be possibly Paramount.
Interesting.
Like I said, he's got the Larry Ellison Oracle money.
I don't like the idea of these studios being affiliated with TikTok because Larry Ellison, David Ellison's father, now owns majority of of U.S. TikTok.
Yeah.
So there's something weird about all of it. I don't
consolidation
like it.
in general is not a great thing when it comes to creativity, but check the video out tomorrow. You might enjoy it. But guys, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel perhaps. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, I want to thank you guys all again. We passed 375,000 subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. In my head, I'm hearing applause going on as I say that. We're past 16,000 on Rumble, so thank you guys so much wherever you may be following us. We appreciate you very much. Remember to share the content, the live streams, the segments out with everybody in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the show with, the faster this channel can grow, so thank you guys so much for that. So what are we getting into today? Well, if you're like me, and you're unk, and you don't want to go research yourself what 6'7" means, you're going to find out just what that means to Gen Alpha and why millennial teachers who are unk are banning it from the classroom because they're tyrants. So we're going to talk. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the revival of cowboy aesthetic in Hollywood. Why is every hick lib cosplaying as a cowboy, from the Duttons to Glenn Powell? What the hell is going on? So we're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about the super villain pervert Doordash debacle.
Well, we don't know what the truth of the matter
we do
really
not.
is,
we don't know
but
really anything.
This
but
TikToker is sharing with her followers that DoorDash banned her after she recorded a DoorDash customer seemingly unconscious and
in the
unclothed. Yes, in his own home. So yeah, people are
guys what's the world coming to when a dude can't be passed out naked with the door open in his own front yard?
It's gone
in his own
so woke.
DoorDash is so. Actually, no, it wouldn't be DoorDash because DoorDash didn't ban him.
No, they did.
Him too?
Yeah, they banned
okay,
him.
That lost at the ballot box. Lost at the ballot box. We don't have to do this anymore. You should be allowed to lounge, on potentially some substances, some sort of cocktail.
I have no doubt that there was many substances involved. Look, if it was Twitch, he would have gotten a 30-day ban. That's it. We all know this. So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we can just go ahead and start it. Mary, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Tate?
Oh, I'm ready.
I was waiting for him to say no. Go for it.
Reset the counter because I need to dunk on Somber again. This,
Here we go.
if you don't recall, is the Gen Z artist who makes alt indie music. He spells his name Somber without an E. Basically, venture capital pop star.
Yeah, from the 2010s.
Yeah, and in case you forgot what person this is in the up and coming music industry. Let's just show this video of him. Here he is in all of his glory.
Very Ella Emhoff coded.
Yeah, just I want to see him in motion here just to help you understand. It's a very disturbing individual.
Why are the pants so high and the shirt so tight?
He scares me, genuinely.
Yes,
I don't like the way he moves.
If you're listening right now, I guess the best way to describe it is he's very much like one of those like Gumby meets wacky, waveable, inflatable tube person.
And yes, I am body shaming. I don't care. We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. The elder Ellison has enough money to easily fund paying cash for all of the debt-ridden Warner Brothers, leaving his son running a monster media empire with zero debt. That's kind of scary. Yeah, that's why I was saying it's a little bit disturbing.
That's one of the things that happens is with Warner Brothers, if you're to purchase the brands, you're going to be purchasing their debt too, which is in the billions. But when you're Larry Ellison and you've got the TikTok money and the Oracle money just coming out of every orifice, you can just buy whatever you want.
So, really didn't want the word orifice anywhere involved in this discussion.
Look,
anyways,
word of the day.
So, Somber has this growing fan base, and most of his fans are minors, tweens, teens. They found him on TikTok. He's now touring the country, and I guess that if you're walking into one of his concerts as a full-grown adult, you're not prepared for what you're about to see and hear. Because he does these little stunts with his audience. He likes interacting with the fans. And from the sound of it, it's really inappropriate. This one woman recounted her experience. She said she actually left his concert early because of how cringy the entire experience was. So let's hear from her first.
So we're going to this one here on the right,
before we hear his clap back.
Here we go.
First 2 minutes he's on stage, he makes a 6.
Let me see if it go full
First
screen.
2 minutes he's on stage, he makes a 6-7 joke. I'm not even kidding you. And all the tweens. I've never had such immediate buyer's remorse in my life. Like, I left early. I didn't even hear my favorite music. He proceeds to make a bunch of niche meme references for like the 12 to 16-year-old age range group. And I only understand them because I'm chronically online, but every other adult in the room, including my boyfriend, is like, why is he speaking in tongue? Like, what is he saying right now? Just ridiculous to hear out loud. Like, it was like,
she's just trying to stave off being unk. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
brain rot on stage. 30 minutes in, he cuts all the music and he's like, we're now gonna have the somber dating show. Raise your hand and come on up on stage if you wanna call your toxic ex. Make sure it's toxic and make sure there's somebody who's gonna pick up. Again, all the tweens. We then proceeded to watch 3 tweens go on stage and call their ex.
Like, you don't even have an ex at that age. What is that?
What? Yeah.
What is even that?
I was always told, look, the joke was always amongst Gen Z, like when they do the television shows where it's like it's the Gen X parent like trying to figure out what their kids are like. It's always like, we don't date, we hang out in large groups, and like labels aren't really our thing. I thought they didn't have exes at that age.
Apparently they do, and they're all toxic.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So the Zoomers are having trouble dating, relationships breaking down, etc. But Gen Alpha is getting an early start.
Apparently.
It seems like they're fine.
Well, let's hear the rest of her video here.
Here we go. And then Somber's on the mic like, clock it, bro, clock it, bro. Oh, chill out, bro, chill out, bro. I've never had such second-hand embarrassment for someone. He would make like super niche references to like 13-year-olds, but then he would also say like super vulgar stuff about like getting his dick sucked. And it was like, so you know your audience is clearly 13, yet here you are. Okay.
Is he hanging out with Sabrina Carpenter? Is that where this is going?
First 2
be a
minutes he's
power
on
couple.
and you clearly 13, yet here you are. Okay. There was a moment in between songs where he literally just randomly went, bark for me, and you hear the arena of 13, 14, 15-year-old girls start barking, and then immediately followed up with, yeah, I'm daddy. That.
Tim
he
should
wasn't
do
a
that.
Good performer.
Next Culture War Live.
It sounded bad. Like he said he had bronchitis. It seemed like that wasn't the only issue going on. Then I get on TikTok and I'm seeing all these kids posting these videos. Oh my God, this must be how my mom felt. This is my generation's David Bowie. I saw a TikTok from the Anthem DC the show I was at, where a girl's like recording it and it's like, the kids are gonna be all right. No. No, cut that. Absolutely never in my life have I felt so much rage. Not even during it. Like, I felt rage during it, but seeing the aftermath on TikTok and seeing it be like, he's the hottest. You guys need better role models. You guys need better sex symbols. I'm so sorry.
Yes, the music industry is where people typically go for well-mannered, decent people to be their role models. That's how it's always been. I think. Is there more?
Yes.
Okay.
Slender Man, we're picking him. We're picking the weird dancing dude. I will insert the clip. He dances like the.
Okay, Slender Man is actually really funny.
That's pretty good. She cooked a little. I'll give her that.
Okay, so I think part of it there is like she's a little bit sad that she's like, all the stuff that he's saying inappropriate, but also she's coming off like I'm not one of the kids anymore, and she's just feeling a little disconnected from the people that she was at the concert with.
Okay, if she were just complaining about the slang terms and the 6-7 of it all,
the rest
that
of it,
would be
inappropriate.
that would make sense.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's really what she's complaining about, though.
No.
Like the other stuff that she brought up, for the most part, is incredibly inappropriate.
No, it is.
So I don't think this is a case of her feeling out of touch with the young
But she also
people.
she also put it in there with like, so she's putting very serious claims in there with like the comparison of him to David Bowie, which is not serious. So it's like I tonally she's all over the place here.
Right. Well, Somber saw her video and he decided to record a clapback. And in this video, he doesn't address any of the inappropriate behavior that she called out, only the stuff about meme language and like the connection that he has with his fans. And he calls her a 25-year-old like it's a slur.
Okay,
literally.
Here we go.
I thought I was chronically online, but it's just come to my attention that there's a TikTok drama going around because a 25-year-old attended my concert and was basically complaining that there were too many tweens there, I was making too many brain rot jokes, and she just thought it was a cringe concert. And also she was body shaming me, and it's kind of started a massive body shaming hate train directed towards me on a lot of videos of me on the internet right now, which is... I totally respect people having opinions, but I am a 20-year-old artist, freshly 20.
Oh,
and
freshly,
if you're 25 years old and you're gonna come to my concert and not expect people younger than you to be there when I, the artist, am 5 years younger than you, it's just a skill issue. I mean, also, like, the jokes thing, like, you had to have known about my online presence before coming to my concert. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I've never uttered a serious word in my life. And also, I make jokes for 5 minutes of the concert, and the rest is music. Like, live a little, enjoy life. Every age, sex, sexuality, gender, race, everyone is welcome at my concert, and I mean everyone. You guys need to find problematic people to hate on, because I am just existing. Also, I'm just gonna give a quick tutorial. Also, I just remembered that I had a fever and bronchitis at the show she went to, but the show goes on. I will not cancel unless I'm on my deathbed.
Okay.
So he doesn't address any of the stuff about him asking his audience to bark or calling him daddy or calling up a bunch of children on stage to talk to. I mean, other high schoolers were really talking about him prank calling kids on stage at his concert because they're toxic in front of an audience of thousands of people for this to get, reposted for entertainment value and humiliation. Doesn't address any of that. Just basically tries to say that, she doesn't understand our sense of humor because she's old, haha, like she's unk. And yeah, this is in fact a bit that he does. He does somber dating show, and I have a video of his dating show that I think this is one of them that she was referring to.
Okay, here we go.
Break up.
Basically, he pretty much just broke up with me because, he takes TikTok very seriously.
Really?
Valid.
How many followers do you have, brother? Babe, I have 4 million and I can stay with a girl. And I've determined the woman is the problem. And she,
The guy's valid. TikTok comes first.
These kids should not be allowed to date or have exes.
It's gonna derail their TikTok
in
career.
general.
Yeah.
So the top comment here says, this girl is literally 20. Y'all are reaching. Is that true?
Well, we have no idea, right?
And the point is supposed to be that the audience isn't 20 anyways. The audience is preteens and teens and.
If you scroll down, there is a video of him asking the audience to bark. Do you see that?
The red with the red.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Whatever, Nashville. Okay, I don't. Everyone bark for me, please. Thank you. I like that.
Look, he's just in his DMX era. That's what it is.
That's how you fire up a crowd.
That's he's in his he probably listened to the Rough Riders anthem right before he went up there.
Well, you get the squad barking a little bit. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. He's also like at his concerts, grabbing his crotch and.
You gotta adjust sometimes.
So there's some tonal issues as far as the subject matter and the age of his audience. Similar claims made to Sabrina Carpenter. Like granted.
Yes.
It's we live in this world now where it's kind of just not addressed unless you're us. Like the mainstream isn't going to address it. They're going to leave it alone. She's going to be like, "Why are you so obsessed with me?"
yeah, exactly.
She actually remember she did the video where she did like the TikTok where she's like, "My 30-year-old fans, my teenage fans."
My 30-year-old fans and my 13-year-old fans meeting at my concert. She knows there are there are definitely children younger than 13 at Sabrina Carpenter concerts, and she knows that full well, and continues, miming sexual acts on stage, and everyone just, says that it's fine because
why do you hate women?
Yeah, they say like you hate women or it should be the parents' responsibility, which it should be, but also that's an 18+ show. Just, make it that way. You don't want to lose the money.
When it comes to like the streaming content at home, like the parent's job is to like make sure your kid doesn't have access to like unlimited porn in Game of Thrones. A concert, especially if she's going to mime sexual acts, the least she could do is make it 18+.
There's literally no difference between a Sabrina Carpenter concert and Drag Queen Story Hour. Changed my mind. But I said the same thing about Olivia Rodrigo concerts and like all of these pop stars. Parents just take their kids to these concerts and do zero research about the content of the music or this person's social media presence and what they stand for. And then stuff like this happens. And it's also because Gen Z artists are being propped up by record labels, and we're seeing the results of like this generation of socially inept people getting promoted to a huge audience before they have literally the frontal lobe to process what that means. And Somber is a perfect example of that.
Because he's freshly 20. His frontal lobe is not fully developed yet.
And I don't like this whole thing that Zoomers do where it's like, I'm freshly 20, like, I'm a baby. Like, that wasn't the case for the majority of human history.
That's the way that people treat being in their 30s now.
That's ridiculous, no matter who is saying it. It's just ridiculous that, he doesn't seem to acknowledge that he's closer in age to a 25-year-old fan than a 13-year-old fan.
I saw somebody in the chat mentioned it. I think it was Katie, Sabrina... Or no, I'm sorry, not Katie. Justin, who is it? No, Patrick Pleasant. Sorry, Patrick. Olivia Rodrigo is worse. She passes out Plan B pills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the dad's at the concert. Like, why is the opening act making her bark like a dog? And why is the main act giving her Plan B pills? I feel like there's an agenda here, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
And he could easily, have a plausible deniability there and say that it's just a joke and you're taking it too seriously. But I do think that we can just be honest with ourselves that has sexual undertones, right? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it goes to if he really didn't think that there was a problem with it, he would have addressed it in his quote-unquote clapback video, but he didn't address it.
Right, exactly.
He left it. It was suspiciously left out of the discussion.
Yeah.
All right.
Not to mention the fact that it's just ridiculous that he's like this, star that's being like thirsted over. Like, how is this? She's right. Like, get better sex symbols. This is insane.
All right.
He looks like a stick bug that like got cursed by a witch and became human.
I think it looks like Ella Emhoff. If Ella Emhoff was a girl.
Similar vibes, yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, so back in August, a self-proclaimed sex researcher and sex worker and libertarian named Ayala announced that she was going to host a convention called SlutCon. And they launched a website for it, put tickets up for sale, and the way that they planned this out is they're going to invite a bunch of tech bros who live in San Francisco to this convention so that they can learn the skills of flirting and touching women. And this was the selling point here. Sex is good, and we're here to get good at it. Join us to learn sexual techniques, the psychology of sexual arousal, and the keys to success in forming and keeping healthy sexual relationships. Whether you're a dedicated wife guy, polycule playboy, or lifelong seductress, your personal flavor of shamelessness is welcomed here.
I'm sorry, but Floozy Palooza goes hard as a name.
Floozy Palooza is its other nickname, yeah. Talks from sex therapists and educators, evolutionary psychology professors, orgy organizers, and more. Get embodied through circling, connective dance lessons, and sexy fashion lessons. Learn practical techniques, analyze seduction, and get honest feedback about your sexual prowess. So, needless to say, these tech bros, they have a touch of the tism. Some of them would be categorized as incels. There were a lot of, virgins in their 40s, but there were also a lot of men with just staggeringly high body counts attending as well.
Now that I think about it, it's another reason why, like, as the world gets more and more ridiculous, like, why comedy is so much harder to do. Because back in the early 2000s, when they made the 40-year-old virgin, it was like, now it's like somebody's like, and I took that personal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're in tech too?
I look like Steve Carell.
Yeah.
And they have this other page on the website that says, meet the hoes.
Oh,
and you can look at all of the speakers that were featured. They've got porn stars, writers, a porn historian.
Oh, wow.
A sex therapist, and as she calls it, orgy-nizer.
So there's just a lot of money to be made and stuff like this. Loneliness and the increasing divide between men and women means that there's a market to fill. On this side of the internet, that's like the manosphere guys who are selling you on, what the failings of women are, or what's holding men back in society. And as people point out all the time, they may have a couple of good tidbits of advice that are, in there about personal responsibility and how to take ownership of your actions. But a lot of times it's couched between, what both genders seem to embody now, which is the best way to grow an audience is to blame the other guy or the other girl.
Well, I don't think they're doing it from a standpoint of blaming anybody.
No, I'm saying this is just another offshoot of that, which is that the loneliness that people are feeling means that people are ripe to be manipulated and taken
They're like,
advantage
hey,
of.
incels, everyone hates you, but we don't hate you.
Yeah.
Give us money. Step 1, shamelessness. There's a footnote here. Unless you find shame hot, in which case, ew, you disgusting, dirty slut. Hey, you there, looking all ashamed about owning those naughty genitals. How about you step over here and release all that genital energy at all of us? What if it's good? What if you like it? What if it's awesome? Join us for a weekend of shameless celebration of being the awesomest little sex freak you can be.
Who is the person? Like, is the idea here that you're supposed to get people involved that wouldn't normally be there? Because who's the person who's just like perusing this and is like, you know what? I'm that person. I didn't realize it, but I'm that person.
We'll get
And
to that in a
who's the
second.
copywriter? Satan?
Whether your slut
going
energy is targeted entirely at your monogamous partner or distributed amongst your extended polycule, your particular expression is welcome here. Sexual desire is a part of life and a part of you, and we hope you can enjoy a place where that part of you is accepted.
Just the other day, Mary, you'll love this. I was watching, I've started rewatching Law & Order Criminal Intent, which is the best Law & Order. Do not at me. And there is this episode, which is based on a true story, about a pharmacist. I know this sounds like I'm doing a non sequitur, but I'll pull it back to Shane. It's about this true story about this pharmacist back in the early 2000s who made a pledge to his local church for like $1 million, and he couldn't make the payments to make good on the pledge. So he started watering down medications to like prescriptions for cancer medication so he could make more money to pay off this pledge. And in the show, they interview a pastor who's supposed to be the guy who's like, he's like egging him on with like compliments, where he's talking about like, oh, but you're such a great pillar of the community. You're a church elder now, to try and get him to do this. And when they interview him, you can tell that the detective he hates religion. He hates anything to do with this guy who's, for all intents and purposes, isn't a bad person, this pastor. And he basically calls him out for shaming the priest for using shame. And the priest says, shame is an underrated emotion. It's like, it's the last thing that keeps us honest when nobody else will. And the show makes no bones about just laughing at that concept to begin with. And this is back in 2002, like laughing at the idea that shame would be a useful aspect of society.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a non sequitur, but it ties into what we're talking about here.
There's been a conflation of guilt and shame. Mm-hmm. Shame can sometimes be an emotion you feel when you haven't done anything wrong. Mm-hmm. Guilt is when you have done something wrong and you should feel bad. Step 2 here is get good. Sex is a skill like any other. At SlutCon, we aren't satisfied with simply lounging around in bacchanalian decadence. We're here to get down to work, explore the cutting-edge sex science, practice your tongue endurance, take notes at the squirting workshop, actually go flirt with hot people, figure out the mistakes you've been making and what parts of you are surprisingly erotic. You've already got your own sexual charm. We'll help you elevate that to full sex champion. So then you can go through all of these modules that they offer. This reminds me of when Amaranth put on that audition process for her male followers, where she was going to train you in Riz and like teach you how to dress properly and get a girlfriend. This is like that on steroids. The San Francisco Standard did a write-up on it. With NSFW content and surprisingly wholesome vibes, SlutCon is a 3-day conference where men pay thousands to learn how to not give women the ick, which was appropriately rebutted here. It feels like a really good way to give most women the ick would be to have them find out you attended something called SlutCon.
She's like, look, she's like, trust me, I went to SlutCon. I've got moves.
It's on my LinkedIn.
At the inaugural SlutCon, flirt girls teach tech guys how to woo women. And at various points last weekend, they say 10 different men asked Cassie, a 28-year-old petite brunette wearing a lime green wristband, if they could squeeze her breasts. She rebuffed 3 but gladly consented to 7 of them. This was not harassment, but homework. The men were attendees at SlutCon, a conference held at an undisclosed location in the East Bay, which promised to level up men's seduction skills.
You can smell
Cassie's wristband designated her as an official flirt girl, one of 46 women who men could approach to practice flirting assignments. She said, I've been giving good feedback in teaching men how to touch me. I've also taught a lot of guys how to pull hair. Practical, actionable instruction was the main point of SlutCon, billed as a combo self-help seminar and social experiment. The goal was for anxious, analytical men to improve their skills with the opposite sex. Around 220 people, mostly men, attended, many paying from $1,000 to $9,000 for their tickets, the most expensive of which included access to intimate sessions with women, some nude workshops they mentioned here.
Society is cooked. Dude.
It's over.
And other men got in for free by volunteering to help set up and break down the activities of the conference.
Back in the day, when men had to make it big in the stock market, and it was all cocaine on the sale floor and frat culture. Money and like social aptitude were tied together.
Yeah.
And now social aptitude has no tie to the real world or to money, because money is now inherently in the tech world.
Right.
So somebody very smart a long time ago saw the writing on the wall and was like, you know what? Gone are the days of the rich CEO who knows how to control the flow of a room and tell and kind of command the presence of everyone around him, or the frat guy who buys and sells stock and does a bunch of cocaine. Like, those days are gone. The days of Wolf of Wall Street are gone. The days of Boiler Room, which in my opinion is the preferable movie, are gone. Now, you just have the Social Network?
Right. You have a room full of a couple hundred future Sam Altmans, and they say the crowd was diverse, but the majority worked in tech. It included Google engineers, AI safety researchers, and scientists on sabbatical. Rationalist men were there, as were men who had never heard of the Bayes theorem. They were blonde men, bald men, men with comb-overs, virgins and recent divorcees, men who had never kissed a girl, and men who'd been laid off and finally had a chance to be laid on. They flew in from New York, London, and Puerto Rico. Others walked 15 minutes from home. One came to, quote, bootstrap his social life. Another, who called himself a local politico, came to understand why he kept getting fired for being too friendly to women and told, you know what you did. He did not know what he did, and he hoped at SlutCon he might find out. Though the content was often NSFW, the vibe was typical tech conference, with talks spread out across rooms, breakout sessions, slide decks, and seating that ranged from folding chairs to bean bags. Men were wearing name tags and color-coded lanyards that denoted their level of access. They looked eager, awkward, hopeful. Some took copious notes.
The guy didn't have to go to SlutCon. He could have just done like a Reddit, am I the asshole?
Yeah.
The keynote speaker, Ayala, said, we are here to level you up and get you to the sexiest you can be. We are pro-men here. We want baseline empathy for the plight of semen. So basically what they're trying to say is like, look, society hates incels and men in general, but we're hoes and we love men regardless of whether or not they're chads, and we're going to try to teach you how to flirt with women with positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement, the way that maybe an HR executive would.
Lovely.
And she said, you may find out in gruesome detail how much you're giving women the ick. And one of the attendees said, a big takeaway is that I can ask for so much more than I habitually ask for, and it's totally fine. The point of the exercise is flirting doesn't have to be, I've succeeded if I have sex tonight. It can be about enjoying someone's attention and interacting with them. Some of the advice offered during workshops felt surprisingly basic. There was a home design panel, how to make your space more palatable to women. It reminds me of the subreddit, like male living spaces. It's just a folding chair and a TV. And a men's fashion session dispensed zingers like avoid drawstring pants and fit your clothes to your body. They were also giving skincare tips and game theory on relationships.
Of course, like Sun Tzu.
Yeah, trying to give these talks that specifically cater to an audience of nerdy, high IQ men that work in the tech space.
These things used to appear in the back in the classified ads in magazines.
There was so much on the schedule that many attendees were torn between panels and practice time with the Flirt girls. Mark, 44, a software engineer, said that he had come to sharpen his riz. He wanted to make sure he was coming across the way he wanted to come across. He pointed to the morning's aggression and intimacy workshop as his favorite, in which men shoved each other to access assertive energy before approaching Flirt girls. You want to leverage that feeling and intensity to be more confident. It was playful, not violent, he added. The people all feel like fellow nerd travelers. Yeah, this is just a total grift. I don't think that any of the attendees benefited from being there, because they're interacting with prostitutes who are obviously not representative of the female population. How the hell would they know what women want in the dating world?
That's correct.
They're prostitutes. That's why it's so ridiculous that Ayala has like made a name for herself. You know, she calls herself a survey artist, and she asks these insane questions, and she tries to poll the audience on their views on sex and relationships, not understanding that her following and herself are not representative of the population. And she's also quite a sad case. I think she's talked about being molested as a kid, and she claims that she has no trauma from it because she's an anomaly, and like, you know, she seems to have a touch of autism as well and just doesn't understand human interaction, which makes it all the more ironic that she's hosting a conference to teach socially inept people how to talk to strangers. This is, just a cesspool of STDs.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone who paid to be there got what they were hoping for. And now there are women also hoping that they're going to put on a SlutCon for a female audience next.
For the femcells.
There was one suggestion of workshops to focus on quickly identifying guys you're interested in, direct communication, how to tell guys you like them, don't like them, want more from them or less from them, how to deal with rejection, hearing from guys what they like in flirting, sex, relationships, practice approaching guys, getting into and out of conversations. No one needs this.
I agree.
Like, they say that this is exposure therapy, like this is a boot camp. So that, in the real world, you can put these things into practice. But it's not exposure therapy because you're in a bubble with a bunch of other weirdos.
Yeah. I think that's all that needs to be said. It's just weird.
This is why they should take the sexual element out, have Kai Cenat host Riz University. And I think that would actually be more beneficial.
Yes.
You would benefit more from going to Streamer University.
Yeah, like how to riz up the huzz. I think that'd be useful. Yeah.
All right. Somebody in the chat said, thanks, Mary. I now have brain aids from that segment.
You're welcome.
Yeah. We do what we can here. All right. Cringe or cute?
Let's see the cringe first.
Cringe first? Okay. Well, give me 1 sec here. Pull it up. Make sure I got that set up. Double check that. We're good. All right. Here we go.
This is another wedding cringe.
Cringe Dad Day.
Marriage
Hold it right.
is what brings us together today.
Just stay right.
Come on, we're having a wedding right now.
Hold. Okay. Put your hand out. Okay.
Hand.
Marriage.
Just shh.
Can I still change my mind?
While placing the ring on each other's
Can
finger
actually,
at the same time, would you both repeat after me?
Marriage.
I give you this ring
This is awesome.
as a symbol of my love,
As a symbol of my love.
my faith in God,
My faith in God.
and our strength
Shove it in
together,
Our strength together. Our strength together.
and my covenant to learn
My covenant to learn
and grow with you.
and grow with you.
I'm bloated.
So am I. Had pizza this morning.
Are we good?
This guy's awesome.
I don't know.
Okay, so I
That
actually
guy's awesome.
I have some insight into this. So here's the funny thing.
You were gonna do this?
When we got married, when me and Olivia got married, one of the things that I thought most interesting was when we were up there, it felt like at any given time that something could go wrong, and stuff did happen, where her hair got stuck to my glasses and nobody it's just there's distance there and nobody noticed. And when we watched the video back, you can't even tell. It just looks like a minor interaction. To be this obvious, he had to go out of his way to make it big and awkward and stupid.
Yeah.
I actually am kind of annoyed right
No
now.
matter what mistakes you made during your ceremony, it pales in comparison.
It does.
to
It
this,
does.
so.
I said I be wed rather than I thee wed.
Yeah. No one noticed
Be
it.
wed.
No one noticed, but as soon as I did it, I'm like, oh, that one's the idea that it's 2 a.m. you're going to bed, and as soon as your head hits the pillow, all the things you've ever done that were embarrassing just flood your brain. I was like, that one's gonna occupy space for at least a couple of years.
Really?
It hasn't,
Okay.
but it could have. It could have.
See, but then this guy, he gets it. He gets He's a marketing brain because that clip is everywhere now. How
Right.
often are you just watching a random couple do their vows? Never.
Only
this
when
guy
it goes wrong.
Put this couple on the map. I don't know. Was he doing a Borat voice? Is that
He
what
was.
that is?
It's from The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was doing the
Oh, that's kind of gay. Never
reference.
mind. I disavow. It's kind of gay.
It's even funnier
Look,
if
I'm
like
against
she's not
the
a
pop
fan.
culture references.
If you did it in a
weddings.
Borat voice, that would have been awesome.
Like the Harry Potter one that I showed you in Cringe like a couple weeks ago. I'm against the pop culture references.
Like if he was just hammered, just like my wife, that would have been like awesome. I had pizza this morning.
More Caden in the chat says, seen it happen. A wedding where the couple's unity candle caught fire. They're still
what
married.
What is a unity candle?
I guess it's like what we did. We did the sand ceremony at ours, where you all like you.
But the candle
must be like something similar like that. I guess
they pour wax.
Maybe, and then like
it sounds
a
like
drape,
it could go wrong in a million
a drape
ways.
caught fire or something.
Yeah.
That's you also have to be careful because like depending on how superstitious you are, you're like how many things go wrong at your wedding before you're like this is a bad this is a bad omen.
Yeah.
But she's just like, oh my gosh.
She asked like, can I still back out? I'm like,
no,
yeah, do it now.
She's doing that. You know why? Because she's like, maybe she's like, yes, you. It's like as long as you don't like push my face in the cake, you can do the stupid Princess Bride reference.
I can't stand the cake videos. It's so awful.
I couldn't believe that was a real thing.
It's surprisingly common. Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe that was a real thing until like it wasn't until I got engaged where somebody was like, have you seen these? And I'm like, who does that? And
if you're not a sociopath, it doesn't really cross your mind.
Olivia's like, yeah, like the wedding is annulled if we if you did that.
That's not.
I like the ones where like clearly the wife was not like clued in on it and they get in a fight.
Okay, like
it's
every single example, like no woman wants that.
None of them want it, but like sometimes they're actually like just crash out on them in the moment in front of everyone, and I love that. I just love anything. I'm glad y'all's wedding went well, and it was a fun wedding. It was really great. But there's something entertaining when like
there's something about a relationship ending moment.
Yeah.
Like when
wedding.
when you're at a wedding and you're looking at it and you're like, this is gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's like it's great. I mean, look, you don't want to cheer against marriage, obviously, but it adds some intrigue to the day. You know, it amplifies things.
So we've got the cute of the day now to make up for that because that was horrible. This is from Dusty Oracle. It says, this is Floofy. She shows up. She shows us the stages of waking up on a work day. That is adorable.
She is living up to her name. Looks like
is.
an incredibly floofy cat.
I mean, okay, so actually the second frame looks like she just realized she's late for work.
She
looked at the clock and she's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm late for work."
Or she saw a Haitian. That could be what it was.
Yeah,
too.
gotta get away. Eating the dogs and eating the cats. All right, let's get started.
Honestly, we are long overdue to talk about the 6'7" meme. I don't know. I just felt like putting it off because I'm officially unk status now. As someone who was alive during 9/11, I am officially unk, even though I'm Gen Z. And the upcoming generation, Gen Alpha, has their own lexicon of new slang terms and meme phrases. 6'7" is their current favorite, and they're absolutely obsessed with it. I should just show you this video of one of the Gen Alphas repeating the phrase. This is 10 hours of 6'7" kid. He's known as 6'7" kid now. 6'7". This is your life as a millennial teacher. Like, just picture this on loop for an 8-hour workday. This is your life if you are a millennial school teacher now.
I mean, the thing is, though, is like, I'm just impressed that there's some editor that had to sit there and like copy and paste that into an Adobe Premiere timeline for 10 hours worth.
The 6'7" kid is a viral meme featuring Maverick Trevelyan, a white boy with blonde ice cream hair. That's the haircut that he has there in the clip. On the sidelines of a basketball game, he is referencing the rap song Doot Doot by Skrilla. So that's where it originally came from, is Doot Doot 6'7" by Skrilla.
And the referencing LaMelo Ball.
This song was often played over videos of NBA star LaMelo Ball, who happens to be 6'7". And now it's kind of taken on a life of its own, and it's a shorthand for either nothing or something or whatever you want it to mean. And it pairs with this hand motion. They go 6'7" while interchanging their hands like this. And it could also refer to something as being mid, like it's a 6 or 7 out of 10. I don't know. So this is now being repeated by children across the nation who have unsupervised internet access. That's their parents' fault. But now the teachers that spend most of the day with them have to bear the burden of listening to this all day, and they're sharing with each other, they're commiserating over it. They're sharing tips on how to deal with this in the classroom. Some teachers have resorted to just outright banning any mention of 6-7, which is difficult if you're teaching a math class. That naturally will make your life really difficult. But here is one teacher in the middle of class. She's filming herself for TikTok to show what she goes through every day.
I'm sorry, but this is actually my point. Like, this is what they get for having, like, teachers on TikTok.
Well,
like,
yes.
I have zero
They're just as much a part of the problem.
I have zero empathy for a teacher on TikTok who's monetizing their job for content in this way. Here we go.
Cheetah. How many votes did Cheetah get? 6. Yep, because we have 6 tallies right here. So I'm going to go all the way up to the number 6. I'm going to come across. That's my bar, and I'm going to color it in. So how many people voted for Cheetah? 6.
Willie.
Okay, what's next?
Yellow flowers.
Yellow flowers. How many votes did yellow flowers have? 2. So I'm going to put my bar up to what number? 2.
2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
See, that room is about my intellectual level too. I'm like, that is hilarious.
I'm sorry, but I'm actually enjoying watching her like have her set like her video like ruined. Like the way,
well, no, that was the purpose of the video.
I know, but it's like she looks unhappy, and that kind of makes me happy because I suppose it's not true because she's like, I'm getting great content out of this, but like you're editing enough that you're like pulling close-ups of your face,
right?
Like miss me with this nonsense.
You have a side hustle as an influencer.
Like you deserve to be like derailed.
Well,
by
the
6-7.
silver lining in all of this is people are asking. I mean, this trend, just like any other trend, is gonna phase out and be replaced by something new, right? Yeah. And the sign that it's already over is that adults have learned it exists. Yeah. Therefore, it's not cool anymore.
That's why, it's always like, Mary asked me earlier, she's like, do you keep up on the slang? I was like only in so much as that my job requires it. But the thing is like, eventually you hit a certain age where I know it sucks because when the people are like, we make fun of all the time of the people who are like, what's a Sabrina Carpenter? What's I don't know. Who else do we do that with? What's a Chapel Roan? But at a certain
Julia Fox.
But at a certain point, when you're trying to be too hip, and yet you're like your knees crack when you sit up.
Right.
Like,
no,
that's a problem.
It's only fitting that this is happening to millennials. It's just
because they never want to age. They want to be young forever.
Because they're obsessed with the idea that they still represent the youth generation. And now they're getting a rude awakening. To the fact that they are now the middle-aged adults in the managerial class. This other teacher took to TikTok to offer some tips to other teachers on how to handle the 6-7 problem. So here were the protocols that she shared for her classroom.
I love that there's protocols.
There are now protocols.
Yeah, it needs to be.
In the year 2025, you have definitely heard 6-7. Here are 2 things that I'm doing in my classroom to help with the whole 6-7 fiasco. First thing, I told my students that if they yell out 6-7 during main academic time and it interrupts the class, then for homework, they have to write, I will not say 6-7 in class.
So woke.
6 to 7 times. So
she's a tyrant.
6 times the first time. If they do it a second time, they're a second offender, they have to write it 7 times. If they do it a third time, they have to write it 67 times.
This is literally 1984.
So that's one.
This is 1984.
There's a 20 there.
From rural conservative Mary, as someone who lives in walking distance of 2 hog barns and knows people with cattle feedlots, the cattle and hogs are very well cared for. Even in the case of corporate farms, a lot is media lies.
Oh, yesterday we were talking about factory farming and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that's representative of the whole. It's just, your experience. But I'm not saying I know any more than you do.
Yeah. All right.
Here's the thing. I watched that video of the classroom and I was aghast just at the idea that these kids can speak freely, because this is not how I grew up.
Yeah, you had a very different educational experience than someone like me who went to public school. And I think anybody who's listened to the two of us talk on this show says that the private school education paid off. And I am representative of the public school experience
we have all
for
three.
the midwit.
Right, you're the homeschool.
Because I was homeschooled. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm the midwit who went to public school.
Well, look, I mean,
Or below midwit.
we had dummies at private school too, but we had this thing. I won't name my school right now, but we had it named after the school. It was the name of the school, Ready, and it means you have to fold your hands, you interlock your fingers like this on your desk, and they have to stay right there, stay in place. You cannot move.
So that's why you're so good at not moving during the show.
And the motto was obey all the way, right away, every day, in a cheerful way.
Look,
The last part is very important because you can't have a fucking attitude about obeying the teacher. You have
true.
to do it cheerfully. You have to be happy to obey.
They do that at the school. It's fine. I mentioned that on a first date, and everybody tells me I'm the bad guy.
I'm just saying the entire concept of child discipline is foreign to this generation of millennial parents and teachers, because they think that kids should be allowed to express themselves. It's stupid, and they're facing the consequences of it now. If any kid spoke, even whispered in class, you would immediately be sent to the principal's office and likely be suspended. And if it got to a certain point, you might be expelled from one of these schools I went to. It was not taken lightly. You were not allowed to express yourself. You weren't even allowed to, express yourself in your clothes because we wore uniforms. And I think that's a great thing, because you should know that there's a clear hierarchy between you as a student and the teacher who is the authority in the room. And nobody questioned it. It was just, when you start them off young, they form themselves that way for life. And these kids are quickly going to approach high school and college age and be the young adult generation. And I'm worried about society for all of our sakes.
There's a 20.
Shane H. Wilder said, I thought it was short for 6s and 7s, which is 1300s slang for confusion. Chaucer used it in his Old English work, Troilus and Cresseide. Lat not this wretched woe thine heart gnaw, but manly set the world on 6 and 7. I don't know if I pronounced any of
My
that
guess
correctly.
is that Gen Alpha wasn't referencing Chaucer when they came up with their slang.
But Chaucer and Skrilla are in the cultural
LaMelo
pantheon
Ball.
together.
LaMelo Ball could have been, a consumer of Old English literature. I'm not entirely sure. You know who's the real loser in all of this? Is a friend of the show, 6'7" Kevin.
Right. How is he handling this with his brand?
Well, because he gave me a baseball cap that says 6'7" on it.
Yeah.
And people smirk and giggle when I wear it around, and it's like,
he's gonna have to come up with a whole new.
he says to change his height. Maybe you should do
image.
leg lengthening or perhaps trim it down.
Yeah.
like you.
Is there a leg shortening?
No.
It might be.
You doctor shop until one of them gives you a different height.
You just continuously use bad squat form, and
Yeah.
eventually it'll compress your spine down.
And then he could make a video where he's purposely
But then that's not
arching
gonna
his
rime with
back.
Kevin anymore.
Yeah.
5'7" Kevin still has a ring to it. If he could take down a foot, that might kill you though. Yeah, this is just proof that gentle parenting and gentle educating is ineffective. And I'll say this isn't just a problem with today's kids, with Gen Alpha. This is a problem with grown adult Zoomer men as well. As you'll see in this next example, this woman is just trying to do her job. She is some sort of sports newscaster, and she has a gaggle of grown-ass adult men interrupting her and getting in her camera shot.
Oh, this is awesome.
Screaming 6'7".
Here we go.
But football is, you can definitely tell there is
If
a
you're
new
listening, guys, it's only in the right ear.
play caller in town. The offense is looking, The offense is looking a lot more versatile. They're getting their tight end in there with more reps. Still seem really characteristic with the running game, but definitely seeing a lot more passes from Malik Murphy to Trent Walker. And I think even though the game is tied, the offense has looked entirely different, and we'll see how it goes through the second half of this game.
Guy is
fire me up.
Oh no, they keep going.
Poor lady.
This is Riz.
Is this weird? No, we're live.
Let's go.
Stop.
He won't stop.
Because it's Riz.
Does she appear rizzed up?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
See, that works, and this is what over at SlutCon they're trying to beat out of men. Because this actually works. This is a winning technique, and I think this is. I
so
recommend
they
this.
just created Feminist for Life, and
No, she was probably like, how do I pick one?
they created a Feminist for Life. You will never have an argument to the contrary. The guy was likely drunk beyond all
Of
comprehension.
course. But look, you don't do things that when you're drunk that you would never conceive of doing sober.
So
okay?
the funny thing is I've been listening to the Stevie Richards podcast. He's a wrestler. He's a pro wrestler, and he now when people ask him questions about like different wrestlers, like how were they as a person, he will give you 2 ratings. He'll say on their own and with the boys. So on their own.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're more amicable, they're polite, they're friendly, they're outgoing in a specific way. When they're with the boys and they're putting on a character,
anything can happen.
And you add in some alcohol and some meaningless Gen Alpha slang, you have a recipe for this woman who will never marry now and and will die alone or with a woman because this happened.
She's going to be perpetually single, and she's going to die alone because she's never going to find someone as awesome as that.
No, the thing
it's
is,
ruined
though,
men
like,
because that kid just got it.
thing
He's
is, if she-
W Riz, and so she's now she's like, I'm never going to top that.
She saves the video. She saves that video, and anytime some guy like comes around, he's nice, he's charming, he's funny, he's respectful.
You don't need
her
that.
friends who will sabotage her will just send her this video like, "Hey, remember that time you were live and all those guys just were like, fuck that guy."
But imagine the scenario that you're bringing up here, where she's like into this, like
This is called virality.
What we're seeing right now is the male friend group dynamic, in which if she actually approached one of them and was interested in them, the rest of the guys would clown on him for it for the rest of the time that they know each other, for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to keep each other down. They're weighing each other down.
This is the squad. This is a rally call. This is like this is warrior mentality. This is what you would scream charging into a battlefield. And the romantic
So this
field
is why they
a
say men
battlefield.
used to go to war.
This is the modern version of going
They
to war.
say-
And we had the console wars for the record, so we did go to war. I literally fought in like
They have Gamergate.
PlayStation 3 versus Xbox 360. That's a war.
They say like "Let's go" is Allah Akbar for white men.
It's true. It's 100% true. Can you imagine if one of them just let a "Let's go" rip? I mean, anything could have happened just now.
This is fatherless behavior.
Well, and also look, 167. Even that loud is like, okay, whatever. You were walking by. It was disrespectful. Have you ever seen the videos of like the women who don't, like the female reporters who don't put up with the shit, and they just like stop them?
Well, what are they supposed to do?
Like they just turn and they say, no.
That wouldn't work.
They will just like talk to you with such authority that they just like quell you.
She was probably being too nice to them. You're right.
Like there's the one of like, it's a kid who goes up to this reporter and he starts talking and she just turns to him and goes, "We're not live," and then turns back to the camera and the kid just deflates and walks away.
We have another
That
20
means you won.
from Pop Culture Junkie. This is so weird. The clip of the reporter was running on MSNBC the same time you were running it. How odd. Yeah, we're secretly owned by MSNBC.
This is yeah, they will play this if they let me I'll just say if they let me organize SlutCon, we would be playing this video. We say copy this, replicate this. This will.
She
fix
will
the birth,
be into it.
The birth rate will shoot through the roof. I mean, it would be lateral. Yeah. I mean, it'd be insane. So I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. I could,
Justin Campbell's straight. In this situation, she has no authority. Some of these reporters even do their own camera work, so that camera might even be on a tripod. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that can be done in that situation, and it's just disrespectful behavior from everyone.
Look, when it's coming from a 7-year-old, okay, whatever. They're just not being raised properly. But you're like 27 acting like this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Really?
Between this and the guy doing the Borat voice for the vows, like I think men are up. This is This is as good as
We're
it's
just
gonna get.
tism maxing at this point.
Spurg maxing. I've been saying for years we should be chud maxing. We should be spurg maxing. And I think that video we just saw of the 6'7", the guy 6'7" guy, that is the apex of chud maxing and spurg maxing.
Somebody called it white fatigue. Oh, no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
See, the bit was going well, and then white fatigue. Now it's like,
look,
that is what's going on. Because she's some sort of, there's something going on with her.
I found out her ex account. I wonder if she's responded to this at all.
What's her name?
She's like, I went out with
It's not the account that this was posted from.
She posted
Oh, yeah.
ALS.
Oh yeah, she said, I'm aware of the video circulating and want to thank everyone for the support. At the start of my live shot, fans were kind and added a fun element to my coverage.
Yeah.
As it went on, a few fans stuck around and things got a little out of hand, which is what you saw. For the most part, Beaver Nation has been very welcoming to me. Live TV is unpredictable and sometimes you have to roll with it.
I forgot.
That woman just give this lady her flowers.
What a professional.
What a professional.
And then they gave this big deal to this random TikToker at ESPN. Hire this girl. This girl should work at ESPN.
Are you kidding me? See, the thing is, we live in a world now where there's two routes you could go there. One where she has her own TikTok and she goes on to make a video about it where she complains, or she does this. And everybody there, all the guys there are now even more upset because they're like, not only did I embarrass myself, but she seems like the perfect woman to try and...
She's a total
No,
sweetheart.
they helped her out because no one, was she in Oregon? No one would have been following her career otherwise. But then all of a sudden this happens. And
I guess you're right about that.
And all she had to do was just not smack one of them, and she would come out, on top. So they've completely. I think they're benevolent. Quite frankly, I don't know why everyone's chimping out about these guys. They are benevolent. They are amplifying her career and getting her clip out there, and so. I don't understand. Women aren't grateful for anything anymore.
Wing half. This is white ass N-words going hard.
It's true. I think that's exactly what's going on here.
The white fatigue is going to start building real fast.
My white fatigue is building.
It's like you see that video. It's like it's like anything you see at the frat house, right? You'd be like, okay.
No, that is the arrangement that white and black Americans have come to. You guys can, rob gas stations and we can yell 6'7" on TV. It works out.
It looks like I don't know. I can't tell, but it looks like toward the end of the video, she actually there's a tear coming down her face.
No.
Oh, I feel so horrible for her. That was brutal.
But now she's a big time star.
I don't feel bad for the teachers because that's your job. That's what you signed up for.
And making the TikTok videos are
and you're
ancillary.
filming your classroom for clout. But this girl was just trying to do her job.
She's just doing her job. Leave the poor woman alone.
But the secondhand embarrassment is crippling.
But it's what is her? The sideline reporter. That's not a dignified career. Just get up there. Oh yeah, James Jones. He's out with a sprained ankle.
Look, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but
it's not dignified. And then all of a sudden, this adds an extra element to it. It's like, hey, by the way, first of all, we're sending you to Oregon. Well, who knows where Oregon State is? And then second, you're gonna have people yelling 6'7". You need to maintain composure. And I bet she's saying that is preferable to having to do this sideline coverage where I'm like, the coach is not happy with the first half performance. You know what I mean? There's too many of those people.
It's adding a little bit of excitement.
Add
to
some
her
intrigue.
Day.
Some, there's some lore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
all right.
I'm not joining on the dog pile. I'm not gonna do
all
it.
right. That's fair.
Let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Patriot Tuesday, Brett, Mary, and Tate. I just dropped the Ghost Girl Halloween meme as promised. Picture Spirit Halloween, but for cringe.
I haven't seen any Spirit Halloweens this year.
Spirit Halloween
means
isn't
the economy's doing well.
what it used to be.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Thank you guys.
Let's go.
6'7".
That was crazy.
Are we gonna make a 6'7" crisis party?
That was crazy.
I don't know if I've ever heard you yell that loud.
See, you're fired. You get it.
My mic control is on point. I think I pushed it away.
Oh, okay.
That was you fit right in with those patriotic gentlemen in Oregon.
Look, it's like anybody can do that drunk. It takes a real man to do it when they're stone cold sober.
Yeah, and they know they're in the National Guard is nearby. They're in Oregon, so they're doing that with the fear of the law coming down on them. So
I saw a chat here from Hobgoblin Shane's Balls. That's the name of the account. Said, Brett, did you ever start drinking soda again, or are you still living off water? I partake in an energy drink every now and then, but no soda.
Really?
Just sparkling water. So when they make spa water, when Tim makes pool water, and I get the sparkling water, I want one with my face on it.
That you deserve that.
Yeah.
Brian Bledsoe said Amber Rose walked so the slut con can run. Yeah,
in heels.
The slut walked so
Yeah.
that slut con could run.
It's very salient. Yeah.
Easy E said teaching tech bros to flirt feels like teaching criminals not to SA people. The gap in social decorum isn't due to a lack of education. Yeah, a lot of these people are just they're too far gone.
I don't think tech bros have the propensity to essay anyone. I don't think they can muster that.
They need to just call the finance bros. You don't need SlutCon. You need to call what's the guy's name from Wolf of Wall Street?
Jordan Belfort.
You need to call Jordan Belfort and all his friends and be like, bro, can you teach me how to riz the way you rizzed back during before the .com bust?
The problem in the Bay Area is that naturally there are more men in the dating pool than women. So,
have you seen the girls they fight over? It's like crazy.
Like the most mid-Asian transplant students, you know.
Yeah, and then they're so like Chop Demic, hello, and then they're always bragging about how much ketamine they're doing. And I'm like, where's that energy going?
Well, they're microdosing. They microdose the ketamine and stuff like that, and they microdose the not the LSD. They microdose the MDMA and sometimes the LSD because it like opens different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
But where is that energy going?
And every time that they throw a party in San Francisco, it just can't not be a networking event.
Yeah.
Where people are comparing resumes.
Do one more.
Yeah, I don't think the tech bros are teachable. Easy E said, if you're a salary nerd, you don't need to learn to rizz up normies. You need to learn where to find the women who dig nerds. You'll clean up over there. Well, I mean, is San Francisco not the hotspot of, you know, where women would go to find nerds if that's what they're into? The problem is the ratios are off. Like, there are just more men in San Francisco's dating pool than women by far, and that's not going to change anytime soon, unless they bring DEI back. So a lot of people are going to die alone.
Okay, that's
honestly
sad. It's very sad. Let's move on.
Well, I'll just add, it's not sad. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a fact.
Okay. You know what else is a fact? The return of cowboys.
Yes. The culture is seeing a revival of the cowboy archetype. The cowboy aesthetic is being seen across fashion, media, Hollywood productions. It's everywhere. I think there are multiple cultural flashpoints to reference here, namely Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour and her pivot to country music, as well as Post Malone's pivot to country music as well. I think Post Malone deserves more credit for that. Lana Del Rey as well.
A lot of people say that like Post Malone always wanted to do that. He always wanted to move that direction, and it wasn't necessarily
his popularity in doing so has prompted so many other artists to jump on the bandwagon, and that includes the aesthetic of the cowboy as well. There's also this Vogue cover that featured Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid. They were on the cover of Vogue for their October issue, and you can see in the image here they're wearing flannel and paisley, and they're in the middle of a wheat field together, and it says, Kendall and Gigi, fashion's love affair with the great outdoors. They're both avid equestrians since childhood, and they took this photo shoot at a ranch in scenic Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where they talk about their early modeling days and creative ambitions and what the future holds. So they're really drawing upon this aesthetic as well. There's also, of course, Glenn Powell's role in Twisters, the Twister sequel, where he's sporting the gallon hat and has the southern accent.
This goes to Hollywood and the music industry's attempt to recapture the feeling of Americana, which is something where, whether you want to call it the vibe shift or whatever it may be, it shows in the protests now where the memo came down and suddenly the far left is protesting with American flags, despite the fact that they hate the American flag. They think it's a sign of oppression, racism, and a history of slavery. But the point is it's a prop, just like it's a prop for the Jenners, which is basically, look how rich we are, because we all know that riding horses is a rich person's game.
Well, I'm getting the background check here on Bella Hadid. I believe that's the Muslim one. She's dating.
Oh yes, Bella Hadid, Gigi's sister, she's dating an equestrian.
And apparently she was Rookie of the Year in a horse cutting competition.
She met her boyfriend at the rodeo, literally.
Wow.
Like, this is the new thing. Cowboy is in.
Who needs SlutCon? You have the rodeo.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, you detect a similar irony in every major city in the US. You will see, you know, Gen Z and millennial men with the mustache mullet combo. They're kind of drawing on more like redneck outdoorsman aesthetic. They're wearing Realtree camo. They're wearing Carhartt, of course. And some of them are even wearing cowboy boots. And they live in the middle of the city. They're a bunch of urbanite yuppies.
Well, they say like Zach Bryan is country music for people who buy a cowboy hat and boots just for the show and then never wear it.
They're LARPing. They're LARPing. They're cosplaying as cowboys. And it's interesting because I've actually seen kind of the opposite aesthetic trend taking place with young people on the political right. To me, from what I can tell, young people on the right are more so drawing on the 80s aesthetic. It's being called the boom boom aesthetic or old money aesthetic. And they are signaling sort of the conspicuous consumption of the 1980s among 1980s yuppies, and back then when the economy was booming and the Reagan era. They're really into like the gilded Trump aesthetic. I think what the right loved so much about Trump as an everyman is that he didn't pretend to be one of them. He didn't, you know, do rallies in a barn with his sleeves pulled up to his elbows. He didn't pretend to be anything other than Trump, the guy with his name on a skyscraper, and he didn't appear to have disdain for the people voting for him. But the left, it appears to me, is the dominant class of people reviving the cowboy aesthetic, even though that doesn't reflect anything about their lifestyles.
Yeah. You'd be more likely to see somebody coming onto IRL wearing a cowboy hat that would actually like Tim would have the rule early on in the show. This might even like predated for you guys, like where he's like, it was like the cowboy hat rule, like you can swear off the headphones if you wear a cowboy hat. Otherwise, like now the headphones are kind of optional.
Yeah.
The guest yesterday had a cowboy hat and he wore the headphones, but he rocked it back.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, the guest when I was on last Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, had a cowboy hat on, or at the very least, maybe not the hat, but he had the whole outfit on, you know?
Well, what you're hitting on, it's because I had the mullet stash combo for like a year. It was a rough year. Oof. But yeah, I wasn't, you know.
I'm glad that you graduated from that phase.
I moved out of New York. That's all that happened. But now you're seeing they're calling it the safe sleazy aesthetic. They are not calling it, but that's what outsiders are calling.
Wait, is this like what a performative male would look like if he dressed sleazy?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're calling it safe sleazy. That's the stash guy. That's that and the other. Basically Curtis
Benson
Connor.
Boone.
Yeah.
They're describing Benson Boone, these types of individuals. But I see what you're talking about, where it's kind of evolving into a little bit of the cowboy aesthetic. And I think what that is there's always been this tendency on like probably it started with like middle-aged millennials and down to Zoomers, is like this fetishization of flyover country of middle America. And they don't actually want to actually take on the values that created that aesthetic. No. They just want to sort of use it so they can signal that, hey, I actually have fulfillment, because these are people that are clearly fulfilled in some way. And so they're trying to like basically exclaim to the world like, oh no, I'm a deep person. I have, you know, an underlying philosophy that undergirds everything, but they really don't. But the taking on that aesthetic sort of signals that in a way, and I think that's what's driving it.
There's a 20 there from Pop Culture Junkie.
When I lived in Houston, I learned a phrase related to the guys who dressed up like cowboys once a year for the rodeo: all hat and no cattle.
Yeah, I remember that being referenced in like an episode of The Mentalist.
Yeah.
When they're on a farm, they're like doing a case on a farm.
There's a form of this among right-wing Gen Xers where they dress like veterans. Have you noticed this? Where they'll wear they'll wear like a really tight-fitting It'll be like either
like tactical gear.
Yeah, like tactical gear, or
Well,
they're
it's
like
tactical because
or
if they're into weapons,
they get like one-shotted by Black Rifle Coffee. Like like there's this, and I
They're
like Black
sporting the
Rifle
camo,
Coffee. I'm
too.
not gonna whatever, but yeah, the camo.
Yeah, but camo was the other direction before. Camo was a hipster thing back in the 2010s.
And I think this because this is still a thing. This is still very prevalent among the Gen Xer community, and I think this evolved out of. I'm not saying it's the same people, but it evolved out of the people that drove the Ford Explorer with like the extra mirror, so then you would think it's a cop car. I think it evolved out of those people where they're kind of bitter they didn't serve. They really wanted that like fraternity, that sort of fraternal bond, and they wanted to wear a uniform, and it never happened. And then now that they're later in life, they're like, okay, well, I can signal something by adopting this aesthetic.
Well, also,
so I think it
mean,
actually is
you're
prevalent in
also-
different spheres.
You're talking about people in like creators and stuff like that, and a big part of people that create is they have to have some type of gimmick or some type of visual aesthetic.
Sure.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah.
This is also top down. It's decisions that are being made by creative directors.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
And marketing professionals.
I think it's because it signals what it is like at a time when people were constantly confused or worried that some celebrity was going to say something that was like really annoying, that like an American aesthetic is supposed to signal something safe for them to look at. Like what is like one of the things you pointed out like a very long time ago was like Taylor Sheridan created liberal propaganda that's like a Trojan horse for conservatives. My argument was all like people never hated that type of propaganda to begin with. They just wanted stories that seemed to be willing to tell a Wikipedia version of a story rather than a 180 character tweet, meaning like they'll give you like a surface level argument from both sides rather than some type of buffoonish argument from one side and then whatever the liberal argument is from the other side. But that aesthetic, that form of propaganda, that Trojan horse, is wrapped in an American aesthetic that appeals to people. And I still think to this day, most people would say that a lot of those shows, it still works for them. Like they can detect the stuff in it that bothers them, but there's nothing about Taylor Sheridan that's slowing down. Certainly Yellowstone went off the rails, but whether it's Tulsa King, whether it's Special Ops, he's got a whole bunch of stuff that all kind of caters, not necessarily to that specific Cowboy style aesthetic, but it signals to people this is safe for you to watch. Even if the material is still there, it's still slightly deeper than the rest of the propaganda you're being fed, if that makes sense.
Well, what Taylor Sheridan is doing is working. He's actually executing it well, and I want to show an example where it's not done so well. I sent you a link to this ad from last year for the Kamala campaign that was produced by Vote Save America.
Oh man, I forgot about this.
And this is a perfect example of the left adopting these cowboy outdoorsman aesthetics to make their views, their ideology seem less threatening.
They should have hired Taylor Sheridan is what they should have done.
Right.
I'm a man. I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
I still don't believe this was real. I still believe that, like, I
real.
believe that they tried to tank her campaign, and there's no way that, like, anybody who tells you you're not qualified to work in politics, just remember this was released for a presidential candidate. But here we go.
Man. I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough. I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak.
Nobody in the history of truck beds has ever sat on a truck bed
That's
like
crazy work.
That is fucking crazy work.
Rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair. I'm afraid to reap.
It plays like a college humor skit.
Build a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
What? I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women. I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
Wait, didn't Trump just like expand IVF for like everybody?
He did.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to...
You can't convince me this is real. I know that it was sold as real. You cannot convince me that this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. I don't believe it. I believe that somehow the Large Hadron Collider reset And somewhere like in the middle of the schism, this was released just as it reset, and it's played for real when it's not.
Support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
That guy's a
to be
problem.
emotional in front of my wife.
That guy's a
Front of my
problem.
kids.
I'll get into that.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Goodwill Hunting.
West Side Story.
That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
Oh my
I love women who
gosh.
support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
First of all, that one guy with the horse needs to be put on the list. He's saying full-throated raw dog, and he's like the zestiest guy I've ever seen. So he needs to be put on the list right away.
He was looking at that horse wrong.
Yeah, that was very weird. Second of all, every single one of those guys lives in West Hollywood, and they're all also probably gay. That's probably true.
Right.
So we're not even buying it. This Yellowstonification that the left is trying to apply to their politics
Not
is
authorized
beyond the
by
pale.
any candidate or candidates committee.
Yes.
Oh,
However, it was earnestly made by Kamala supporters. It's not satire. It's real.
The funny thing is the way he says it at the end, like what did the guy say? He said,
Just so they can feel controlling women. And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
So
that's not how my mama.
He actually identifies a problem, to pull it back maybe in Hollywood a little bit, where it's like people love well-written women characters, but the problem is what they did now, instead of writing well-written women characters interacting with well-written male characters where there's some type of balance, they show for instance, I tried to watch the Boston Blue spin-off of Blue Bloods. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. And basically the first 5 minutes when they're trying to get you to like this character is they introduce a bunch of like male cops and they're all talking down to her even though she's their superior officer. And then she has to be basically call them idiots and tell them why they're wrong about stuff. Whereas back in the day, all you had to do was write it as a well-meaning person asks her a question and she can make the exact same point without belittling the guy, which doesn't make him look stupid or her look snarky. So he's actually correctly identifying a problem in media that they don't know how to handle anymore.
Yeah. Well, and also they're portraying this like, lumpkin proletariat country boy. And then they're like, we don't belittle or tell women what to do. I'm like, you new around here? That's exactly what we do. I come from that world. That's what we love doing. That's great. That's like what we're all about, actually. So they just don't even get it.
They're hick libs.
They're hick libs.
It's a great term, and we should use it more often. The last thing I'll say on this, I'll echo a point that I made last night. I was on After Party with Emily Jashinsky. You should go watch that after the stream
After
if you
Party?
haven't. Yeah, that's her show.
That was the name of it. Right?
And we were talking about this op-ed in CNN about the Cowboy revival. And I made the point that I think a lot of the wealthy ultra elites and celebrities specifically are drawing on this aesthetic because it's a status symbol to draw on naturalism, because increasingly as time goes on, people below their social strata they are not at liberty to embody their existence in any way because they have to live in a little box and they have to work from home and everything is digital, and they don't have the same means to know the sourcing of their own food or the fabric on their body. Celebrities do have the means to enjoy all of those things and live in the flesh world, and increasingly people in the middle class below them don't have the same freedom. And that's why I think that's one of the major reasons I think that they're pushing this aesthetic. It's a status symbol that they're lording over the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, and there's another level to it, specifically why young people are embracing it is because they want to be able to signal, like, this is the whole thing driving the safe sleazy sort of aesthetic, is like it's a way to sort of communicate to the world that I'm edgy and I don't take myself too seriously, and I'm like a little goofy, I'm a little ironic, without scaring the huzz.
Yeah,
that's exactly what's driving.
It's like, I'm non-threatening.
Right.
Is that why?
But
like,
you're still maintaining a little bad boy to you.
Yeah.
Like, I got a mustache.
to your point about like the way that it's like a status symbol, is that kind of why people like when Kim Kardashian recently said like, yeah, I don't know the price of milk, people are like, I kind of appreciate that she doesn't know and she's not pretending like she knows. Like, authenticity is the last great bargaining chip you have in society right now, and as social media and the real world start to meld together, it's harder and harder to distinguish what is authentic about a person.
Yes.
So sometimes the only way to be authentic when you're that famous is to fall on your sword and admit that you're not. It's why we talk about Gwyneth Paltrow with some level of esteem, because we're like, you know what? She's not connected to reality. She doesn't pretend to be connected to reality. It's like I turned around on Dakota Johnson. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Like, me and her have nothing in common. She doesn't pretend to have anything in common with me, and I'm okay with that.
That's why I admire Jeff Bezos, because he's just like, yeah, I'm rich, I'm a snob, you can't relate to me. And I'm like, thank you. Because like Warren Buffett does this whole routine where he's like, oh, I eat McDonald's and I live in Nebraska. And I'm like, I can see you should be being evil right now. Why are you not being evil? Why are you trying to appeal to me? Or Jeff Bezos, I just see the video where William Shatner like came down from space.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it's like when I was looking over the world, like I really felt this. And then Bezos cuts him off. He's like, hey, can you bring the champagne over here? And like just some Eastern European model brings him and I saw that and I'm like, thank you. Can you shut that William Shatner guy up? I don't want to hear the BS.
He's like, you know what? 3 days for a wedding is pretty. Can we do 4?
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Yeah, like William Shatner just zip it, okay? Bring the champagne over. Enough of that. I'm rich, you're rich. Let's stop like playing games.
Enough of the mushy gushy.
Enough of the mushy gushy. And I'm gonna go to Italy and I'm gonna shut down this town and we'll probably execute a few people, you know. And that's fine. That's what you want. So it's refreshing. There's some other behaviors of the wealthy, obviously I'm not condoning. But what I will say about those behaviors is that's what I expect them to do. That's what you want. That's what the rich people, they should be a little evil. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Yeah, they should have a little evilness to them.
All right, let's read some super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, this is why I like Catholic weddings. You get a mass. There is no room to pull this cringe. Jokes can be saved for the reception. Look, even at the reception, I don't want him to be making a bunch of movie references and like forcing us to laugh at his jokes. It's
what if it's a specific movie? Like what if he's referencing like Cars?
Oh, well, if it's Cars, I can make an exception.
That'd be pretty cool.
Corey Anderson.
You have to give like a do not go list. Like
Corey Anderson said, I miss Skibbity Toilet and Boom or Doom.
That's
Boom or Doom is like beyond Unk now.
Right. Yeah.
It's as Unk as I am.
Corey Anderson said that newscaster should have turned around and gave that screaming dude a backhand. I don't think she would have.
Then she catches a case and it's on camera.
Yeah, then she's like, what's this lady's problem?
That would have ended badly for everybody.
Yeah, like that would like vindicate everyone. Yeah. They'd be like, geez.
Shane H. Wilder said, as someone who deals with live shots, that screaming behind a female reporter will not rizz her up. She was only smiling because the camera was hot.
Yeah, she was similing because she was into it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little do you know, they're going to get married.
Yeah, notice how she didn't, when she put her little tweet up or whatever, she didn't say, those guys were chopped. She didn't say that. She would have if she wasn't into it.
Let's do one more.
All right. Not that John Stewart said, enjoying some delicious Culvers. They have new jalapeno cheese curds. Happy Tuesday. That sounds like a happy Tuesday.
I do wish that there was Culvers around here.
Get a little fried cheese curd. You just feel your heart just like tensing up. I love that rush.
I'm here for it.
I love having a fast food meal and feeling my heart just like give out.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so good. It's like cocaine for the middle class.
My favorite meme like template lately is like it's the gym memes where it's like, it's like always work out your heart. It's heart day, and it's just guy drinking 4 white monsters at the same time.
It's called. I've maintained this.
Yeah. He freezes them, cuts them out of the can, and uses white monster ice cubes in his white monster. Like I see that, and I'm just like, let's go.
I've maintained that you need to be. This is what these Brian Johnson types miss. Is you need to be stress testing your body.
Right.
You need to make sure that if this all goes bottom up, you'll be fine. It's these Brian Johnson guy. He doesn't get his ashwagandha for a day and he falls apart. He comes unglued. Meanwhile, me, been pounding Arby's for about 20 years now. It's like clockwork for me. I'll be ticking. I got some onboard storage too that I could tap into if needed. So
all right,
don't get it.
Let's move on.
Okay, so Doordash is in the middle of an absolute cluster right now. This woman who is a Doordash delivery driver, or was rather, recorded an experience that she had while she was making a delivery. She approached this man's house, and according to her version of events, the front door of this man's house was wide open.
Wide open.
And she proceeded to pull out her phone and record this man while he was indecent, in the nude, seemingly unconscious, laying on his couch in his living room. And she captioned this TikTok that she posted: "A man named Austin orders DoorDash, selects the option to have the order left at the door, sees his DoorDasher, me, has a female name, quote unquote, falls asleep on the couch with his pants and underwear to his ankles and his front door wide open. So this is what I see when I have to leave the order." And we're not going to show you that video. I mean, it's getting struck down on TikTok at the moment, so we don't want to get in trouble.
Play the video, Brett.
But she has followed up with an update and said DoorDash permanently banned her from the platform because of the fact that she posted this video.
Before we even go on, I want to address her point there where she said he supposedly fell asleep. I actually put this tweet up the other day. I just remembered this now. Grubhub is offering insurance for people who fall asleep.
This is why we need it.
I said pathetic.
Good.
This is just weakness. Weakness masquerading as fiscal responsibility. This is why the insurance exists.
Right, exactly.
Because guys, no, granted, not all of them are going to be naked when they fall asleep, but they're not coming to the door because they're getting drunk and they're falling asleep before the order comes. So let's listen to what she has to say here, guys. And I have generously fast forwarded past the point. So here we go.
So DoorDash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault. Hey guys, I just lost.
Bro, the camera is like shaking in her hands.
So just before we go forward, she is calling this a sexual assault. And people are calling that into question because they're saying he didn't touch you. He doesn't even seem like he was awake. How can that possibly be sexually assaulting you? And her point of view is that he was intentionally flashing her, which would fall under, I guess, public indecency, indecent exposure.
He's at home.
But it's not public.
Right.
So that complicates things even more. He's literally in his house. So
if he is evil, he is the most diabolical super villain of pervs that's ever existed.
It's weird things that get people off these days. But let's continue.
I lost my job, and they won't tell me why. They're supposed to send an email immediately after deactivation providing you the reason why and a link to appeal, and they didn't. So I contacted support and they made me sit on the phone with them for 50 minutes just to tell me that they can't tell me the reason why and I have to just go ahead and appeal without knowing why. So my chances of getting my account back, they have my money in that account.
That sucks.
I was working.
That sucks.
I was literally working and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while DoorDashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing.
Why does she seem excited and happy?
Why is she so angry? She's acting like her mother.
Okay.
My job, and that was my only way to make money to pay my bills. 3 days ago, October 12th, 2025, I was a
Does she have like image stabilization off on this, or her hands just shaking?
Oh my gosh.
Victim of SA by a DoorDash customer while I was doing my
Okay, so again, if you've just like beamed into the podcast right now, the victim of SA was that she walked up to deliver a DoorDash to somebody. The door was supposedly, according to her, open, and the guy was passed out naked in his living room. And she is, I guess, contending that he was not asleep and that he did it on purpose.
Now, some people, I don't have any evidence for this, but some people are claiming that there was a previous video that's now deleted where she admitted to opening the door, pushing it open that was already cracked, but she opened it the rest of the way. I don't know if that's true. So we'll continue here.
Props to the people who said they just beamed in.
Yeah.
DoorDash driver. Excuse me if you've already seen this. This is my 3rd time posting this because TikTok keeps silencing me and taking my videos.
Oh, I'm not.
Because you're so angry.
Does she play it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And giving me strikes. So if I get one more strike, you guys, I'm just letting you know right now my account is going to be banned. So I'm going to try to word this as chill as possible to avoid getting this video striked. So on October 12th, 2025, the DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front door. When I arrived at their front door was wide open. Their lights were on, and they were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me. I got this on video, and I'm not even going to be posting the video clip anymore because I'm pretty sure that's what's getting me the strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure
Yeah.
that out.
But yeah, I reported it to DoorDash, and DoorDash did ban the customer, and then 2 days later, DoorDash banned me, which doesn't seem unrelated. I appealed, and they were supposed to respond to my appeal within 7 to 10 business days. They didn't even provide me a reason for my deactivation. They're supposed to send an email. They didn't. So I contacted support, and they told me to continue with my appeal without knowing a reason why. There's an option to select, don't know why I was deactivated, and then you still have to explain yourself. So I did. And within 12 hours afterward, they had already denied my appeal. So I'm really never getting my DoorDash account back. DoorDash deactivated me. DoorDash punished me for exposing my assaulter, and TikTok is currently...
So again, she is her intimation is that this guy saw her name on the order as the person delivering the food and made the active decision to choose to drop it off at the door, and then exposed himself and then pretended to be asleep, knowing that it was going to be a woman who dropped it off, which, like I said, would make him of all the pervs on planet Earth, he would be a super villain mega mind of pervs to know that.
Or he just loves DoorDash.
Look.
This is why she got banned. It's very simple. The customer is always right. The customer is always right. And she tried to longhouse him right before our very own eyes. We saw it. She tried to longhouse him, and fair play to DoorDash. They said, zip it, ladies. Quit screaming. You're done. You're done. And we're keeping your money.
I don't think she's in the right to call it a sexual assault, first off. But I also don't put it past someone to purposefully expose themselves in this seemingly unintentional way.
Look,
I do think that is something
that could happen.
Plausibly that could happen. Yes.
And we'll notice how she's omitting what he ordered. What if he ordered?
We need to know. That is actually the most important information.
What if it was Culver's?
We need to know what he ordered.
If he ordered Culver's, that does something for some people. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Her choice to not go into like when she says SA, she's letting people draw conclusions as to what that means, because the situation here is so unique and there's so many weird details to it. You have to reiterate it consistently so that people don't feel like you're trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes. Like, look, we could find out tomorrow that this dude's got like a rap sheet down to here, and this is on the list of things that he does. I have no idea. But first of all, posting the video when you tried to get the cops involved was stupid, because it makes it very, very hard for anybody to prosecute if you're out here posting evidence of a naked man on the internet.
Right. Yeah. Well, this obviously introduces a whole host of legal liabilities for DoorDash, and that is why they released the following statement regarding the video from a Dasher circulating today. We take reports of this nature with the utmost seriousness. We want to be absolutely clear. This Dasher was not deactivated for reporting a sexual assault. If a Dasher ever experiences something that makes them feel unsafe or uncomfortable, we urge them to please contact our support team immediately so we can help, as their safety and well-being matter deeply to us. At the same time, publicly sharing videos taken inside a customer's home, especially when personal information is involved, raises privacy concerns and is a clear violation of our policies. In order to protect everyone's safety and privacy, we have deactivated both the Dashers and the customers' accounts and are working directly with law enforcement for additional guidance. And keep in mind, this girl already had a following on TikTok before any of this happened. She has 184,000 followers on TikTok. And
life of a DoorDash.
Every video she's posting about this situation is getting multiple millions of views. Which offers a perverse incentive on her part to continue drumming up the controversy. We have a 20 from Corey Anderson. Lady, you cannot videotape people while they are nude and asleep. Also, you should be arrested for trespassing. You were told to leave it at the door, dummy. Dude probably just passed out drunk while playing with himself. I mean, look, that doesn't explain why the door was open, though.
And
Fresh
again,
air.
look, there are claims that say that she previously made a video saying that she pushed the door open.
Yeah.
There is no confirmation of
I
that.
can't find that video.
Look, I think both of these people just need a break from DoorDash. I think
Yeah.
I think these both, they need to cool down.
Common sense.
Maybe take it over to Uber Eats for a little
We
while
need
or
common
something.
sense
But
DoorDash control.
Uber
The real
Eats or
question-
Postmates maybe.
What I want to know is how this man managed to both order DoorDash and own a home, because I've been reliably told that ordering
Yeah.
DoorDash
He's a boomer.
and ordering DoorDash and drinking Starbucks is going to prevent home ownership. And to do both and own a home and be naked in your living room
Yeah.
is a very, very,
he's
very
a boomer.
mean feat. He must be a boomer.
Yeah, well, look, I delivered Uber Eats for about 3 months, you know, and it was you
Do you
see
have any
some
weird experiences?
you see some things, you know, and I just said that's part of the job. I would never barge if I saw a man like that laying out. I wouldn't barge into his house and video him and scream at
Okay,
him.
to be clear, she didn't enter
She
the home.
literally, and I'm, you know, this is maybe me speculating a bit, but she barged the window and she screamed. Oh, you saw her screaming to her phone. She probably went in there, let him have it. Did he even get his food?
Seemingly, yeah, she did leave
Look,
the...
If she left the food, then okay, maybe I'll give her a little grace. But I wouldn't be surprised. But I maintain the position. If it was Culver's, all bets are off. You know, you get really excited when your Culver's is coming, and you know, I'm just saying.
The amount of shaking I saw on that camera means that the food was probably all over the bag by the time he got it, which is another misstep.
He's probably, you know what it was? She's probably delivered to his house before. Let me walk through what's going on here. Is she's probably delivered to his house before, and her hands are all shaky. You know, she's like, you know, little Miss Shakes a lot. And so I bet she shook his drink up last time. And he was saying, oh, this lady always shakes the drink up. She's so shaky. So I'm going to go ahead and take my clothes off so that way I don't spill the soda when it explodes everywhere on my new clothes. So this is her fault. I'm blaming her. I think
He's like, I don't have a bib handy.
Right. So he's like, what? And
These
then-
are new pants.
Yeah, they're brand new pants.
Of course.
You know, maybe his grandfather gave him the. You don't know. We don't know this guy's life. And then
We
all
don't
this
know his
lady
story.
barges in here shaking his soda up. Yeah, no, you lose your DoorDash account. That's so I'm standing with
If she wanted more of the public sentiment on her side, she couldn't post it. Like literally not even the second half of the video. She like posting the video of the dude automatically
dumb
turned
move.
people against her.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
you really think the police were going to take you seriously after you did that, which is also illegal? Like,
I was gonna say, is the idea here that the door is the barrier to entry for this discussion? Like, what if she filmed him through a window? Like, he's got the window blinds up and he's naked in
Yeah,
his
like,
room,
what
and
would
she's like, I dropped the food there, and then I caught a glimpse through the window, and I was like, oh crap.
Well, the agreement for the longest time between, and I'm saying, so this isn't me punching down. This is me punching up, if anything, is the agreement between the delivery people, the food delivery people, your Uber Eats drivers, your DoorDash drivers. The agreement has been we don't interact with the customers. Like you shouldn't even see us. Like we should be basically insects.
that is the point.
So this just interacting with a DoorDash driver can be pretty traumatizing for people.
When you were doing Uber Eats, did anything weird happen? Like, do you have any stories?
The craziest one I saw, because I would deliver in like the hood quite a bit, because that's where like people would just leave a $30 order, no one wanted to take it, and I'm like, I'll take it. I mean, I got nothing to lose. I'm driving Uber Eats. Like this is rock bottom. I will deliver to the hood. So so I did that, and I saw like they had their both doors open. They were getting a breeze with the screen door, and I saw in the back door. And I'm not making this up, and I will make it family friendly for YouTube, and I'm not making this up. There was a lady stimulating her dog's genitals.
You're
Through the door. I could see all the way
You
through
are
the back
not
door. I'm dead serious. And you know what I did? I didn't film it.
What?
And guess what? I had my Uber Eats account till the last day. Because I said, you know what?
That did not
Yes, it did.
happen.
I swear, I'll find
That's insane.
I will find texts from around the time texting my friends this happened. And I remember, and I saw that, and I said, that's their business. I'm just here to deliver.
Libertarian Tate over here.
Yeah, I think it was like
I would call the cops.
I think it was like
for,
Garibaldi's or something.
Abuse.
I think I was delivering Garibaldi's. So I'm like, you know what? You know, that's between you and the dog. And
What
I'm not gonna-
happens between a woman and her dog in the privacy of her home?
She probably had a perfectly good reason. Maybe the dog was really excited for the food. I don't know.
Oh my god.
So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna speculate.
We're not doing this right now.
I'm just
poor
saying.
animal.
Really, you think the animal is the victim there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. No. The animals. And you know what? No.
That's abuse.
You have to call the cops for
Hear
animal
me out.
abuse.
What Hassan did was way worse.
Well, you know what? We're not going to split hairs about that. That's just
So-
like, you should have called the cops, honestly.
Me?
That's my
I'm
opinion.
a DoorDash. I'm an Uber Eats driver. That's
You
their
saw
business.
what you saw.
I saw what I saw, and I dropped the food, and guess what? I got a tip. So thank you very much. Oh my gosh. You know, don't do that.
That is the worst thing I've
For the
heard in a
record,
very long
I'm disavowing that.
Okay,
Yes. I'm
what
saying
I-
that's wrong. What happened? But I'm saying that's none of my business. I'm the DoorDash. I'm to them. I'm not a factor in their life, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be involved in this. It's the hood. She probably sicked the dog on me. So.
Well, on that horrifying note,
Super chats.
we're going to finish up the
Yeah.
super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, the worst I ever saw was outside of a crime scene where a bleached land whale jumped in front of a live shot to get her tits out. I was pissed.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet that happens a lot. Cancel Lincoln, the betrayal of 1776, said, I can totally envision an idiocracy type of future where the only communication is people saying 6-7 to each other in a wide range of tones.
Yeah, I could see that.
Easy E said, PSA, awkward tech nerds clean up in Germany. Really? Is that the place for them to go? If they run out of San Francisco baddies? Brian Bledsoe. There aren't that many to go
all
around.
3 of them, yeah.
Yeah, Brian Bledsoe said, put those 6-7 guys in the next crisis party jingle. Can we really tolerate that?
I don't know if we could.
It's already a dead meme, though. Like, I feel like if it were still, you know, a meme with life left in it, I'd feel differently, but it's kind of over with
Slang cycles so fast. That's why that Jelly House, the guy who makes the music, he has to be on it, because like by the time he's done with the song, the lingo he's making the song about is already done.
But it could be if you have them screaming 6-7 into your ear, and you continue to speak, then maybe that'll build some sort of camaraderie between you and the reporter. Like you could say, I know what you went through, and I powered through.
Maybe that guy like meets her later in life, and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. Like I was drunk. The boys were egging me on.
I was a boy back then. Now I'm a man."
I was like, He's like, I'm a tech bro now. I got a job. I'm a man.
like-
I'm a tech man.
He's like, I went to SlutCon, and like I realized what I did was wrong. I was a Rizless chud. But now, yeah, no, she would thank him. She'd be like, you know what? Without you, I would just be still doing sideline reporting for Oregon State. Now I'm at Oregon, and I'm doing color commentary.
We got some Rumble rants here. I'm gonna get through these. So Broody Gambit says it's nice seeing 6 with 7 and not afraid anymore since 7, 8, 9.
Her.
I actually hit that in the chat earlier, and somebody said no. It's because
reference.
like I said that in the chat earlier, and somebody goes no, it's because 7 R-worded 9, and I went,
whoa, is that true?
I hope not. Grunmeister says the news reporter could have just hit them with the RKO or a Stone Cold Stunner, and it would have been a badass. Yes, but again, like I
would
said,
end well for her.
It wouldn't end well for her in court, and she wouldn't be making Stone Cold Steve Austin money or Randy Orton
She
money.
can't win in a fight with any of those guys.
Yeah. The local Wendigo says, wait, she took a picture of a customer naked without their knowledge.
Right?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Grunmeister, DoorDash should give this man his account back, and she just wants to be a victim. I will see her in hell. In a cell.
Okay.
That's a wrestling reference. And Grunmeister again says, I need more of these conspiracy level theories on situations like this from Tate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in a lot of situations over the years.
You're coming up with creative solutions to 21st century problems.
Yeah, I know. If people just listen to me, I'd have this whole mess mopped up in like a week.
Yeah. Tate 28. No.
You know, I would. I'm not. I don't think I'm old enough, but
You won't be old enough, but it just has a ring to it, you know.
20 or
Tate 38.
36. Yeah, 38, 36, whatever.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I always thought that like the Joe Biden campaign slogan in 2020 should have been hindsight in 2020 for the buyer's remorse that people had for Trump at the time.
That's a good point.
That could have
Why
been
didn't
good.
they do that?
Again, they're hiring these people to make ads where a guy sits on a truck bed like this, and I'm over here. And you can hire me.
I don't care. I don't care if my daughter.
I eat carburetors for breakfast.
No, he said it like, I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Yeah, he was very zesty. I don't care.
Like, what they don't realize
I got my carburetor. I don't care about my daughter's transgender. I don't care. Give me my carburetor.
That line was a joke in Happy Gilmore when he says, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And he goes, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Yeah, you eat carburetors? What is wrong with you?
Yeah, where is the consultant class when you need
Was
them
that
the
Happy
most?
Gilmore? It was Happy Gilmore, right? Again, that's the problem. You know what it was? Like, I think the people who knew what was coming in politics knew that, like, USAID was getting defunded, and they were already out the door.
Yeah.
They were going to the private sector.
Right. Shane H. Wilder said, as a Texan born in a small oil field town, I own boots, a cowboy hat, and a pearl snap shirt. The mullet mustache is just a bridge too far. Yeah, never go with the mullet mustache combo. These men are not to be trusted. They're dangerous individuals. And as you said earlier, Tate, they are trying to portray themselves in a non-threatening manner, which is like, why are you overcompensating in that way if you aren't dangerous? Like, I just wouldn't be alone in a room with any mustache mullet guy.
If you're a man, you should be portraying yourself as threatening as possible. I'm talking about gang tattoos on the forehead.
It's a step in the right direction.
I guess. Brass knuckles.
Thank you,
yeah,
Chad.
when I had a mustache and mullet, I do think I was I think it's just too LARPy. I think it's what it was. It was like fun.
Were you just doing it because everyone else was doing it?
Yeah. I was playing rugby too, and it's like big in rugby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why? Like, is there
because
a
all
reason?
Australians. Because in New York, there's all the expats, so my team was mostly Australians.
Australians are into mullets.
They like pioneered they brought back the mullet. The Australians were the ones that did it first.
I mean, they're like the Southerners of the globe.
They're
so
just
it
British
makes
Texas.
sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad. I questioned myself for 1 second about whether that was from Happy Gilmore, and they started giving me the most insane. No, it's from Gilmore Girls. I don't think that line is from Gilmore Girls. It was from Happy Gilmore.
And speaking of which, that's why it makes total sense for Keith Urban to be a country singer. Like, it might seem weird on the surface for an Australian to be a country singer, but it just works.
Mm-hmm.
Shane H. Wilder, Eazy-E, said, caring this much about a Doordash job is crazy. Well, no, I mean, I understand some people actually make a living off of platforms like that, and I would understand entirely, like, being... like panicking over losing all that money, but
like when I did it, I was the only person in Nassau County, New York, that was not an immigrant. Like, I was the only, like, people would see me coming to their door and they would be like, the economy it's at the bottom.
They thought you were
They're
ICE.
like, sell everything. There's a white guy delivering door to sell everything. Like, I was causing a crisis for people when they would see me door dashing.
You know, you could have been doing what's the grocery delivery one?
Oh,
I used to have.
What is that?
Hello?
Something Instacart.
Instacart.
Yeah, we made a video like a while back called
around here it's shipped.
Instacart is for lazy scumbags. And it actually performed pretty well.
So I used to get groceries delivered when I lived back back in Knoxville. And the lady who delivered them, it was the same lady every time, one of two people. And she basically was telling me, she's like, her and this other lady had like the whole area dialed in. Like, they were the only ones. Like, they took all the orders from everybody in the area. Like, it was just two ladies, and they held a monopoly on getting your duopoly on your groceries being delivered.
Yeah, well, if you are like I'm living in a smaller town now, you do order DoorDash, you'll notice the driver going the opposite direction for a little while because he has two different apps going, because there's not many orders going around, and so it's like,
well, they run on like Uber Eats, DoorDash. They do multiples, like the people who do.
It's crazy.
The same thing with Uber and Lyft.
I can't handle that though, because when I did it, I could do one app at a time. Like, have you ever tried to watch, Brett, you might realize, if you try to watch NFL Red Zone and it's flashing like multiple games at one time, I have like an anxious breakdown.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. I'm like, no, I was just watching, and they flip it away and they start showing you a touchdown. Like, I cannot handle it. It's like,
I mean, that's kind of how I consume sports media, though. Like the other day when I was watching, like, I didn't watch any of the ALCS. I just wait for the John Boy updates to tell me who won.
Oh no, it's because it's like that's the only time I can fall asleep.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like I need. but then they're flashing back and forth. They're like yelling. It's like that lady, the DoorDash lady, just yelling at you. Like, oh, there's a touchdown! Oh my gosh! And it's like,
seemed crazy.
I know. Like everyone needs to relax with the DoorDash. It's a whole thing.
Not Knoxville. I meant Brunswick. I'm very stupid. Sorry about that. Somebody's like, Brett's dark history of drug abuse happened in Knoxville. No, it was Brunswick.
What? What are you talking about?
Getting groceries delivered.
Okay, but you weren't actively using
No,
drugs
I was
in
not. No,
Brunswick.
No, that was. But I'm saying like it was. That's what. No, that happened back in Minnesota, different place.
Stefan Buttle said, "I've fallen asleep after ordering food. I am weak. Admonish me."
There you have it, man. Dude. But that's okay. Just don't get the insurance, because if you get the insurance, you have no incentive to stay awake.
Yeah.
What you need is like you need to keep yourself on the rails by being like, look, I can't afford to just like lose out on $30 worth of food.
I could be knocked out cold by Mike Tyson, and I hear that rustle of the food delivery bag, and I'll pop out.
I mean,
of
we had pizza delivered recently. Normally, like the pizza delivery for us, because the tip is done digitally now, like you're not handing them the tip. They just leave the pizza at the door for us. But like the other day, they like rang the doorbell, and I was like
freaked out.
I was like, what? I gotta put a shirt on.
It's the worst.
Unless you're that guy who just like leaves the door open and stays in his naked.
Imagine you just have your door open. You're just standing there shirtless, like looking at him.
Yeah.
They can't do anything about it. That's the craziest part when you're delivering Uber Eats. People will like torment you.
If you're a woman,
you can do about
if you're a woman, you should not have a job like that. Period. It's not a good idea for women to be delivery drivers.
Yeah, bringing food to a stranger's house.
Shane H. Wilder said, look, you shouldn't pass out with your pants around your ankles and the door ajar, but you also don't film inside someone's house from the curtilage? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's just like
they were both in the wrong in their own way.
We've all been there. That's called Thursday.
Who's we?
we yes,
the
all
royal we. Not that John Stewart said, can we talk about Tate's monkey arms that can be on all 3 cameras at once? Wild. Yeah, I was noticing your hand was in all.
Yeah, because he goes into the.
Well, just Brett and I.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm doing
don't do that.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Corey Anderson said, this is America. If a man wants to pass out with his pants around his ankles and the door ajar, he should be able to do so without some busybody filming him.
Yeah, you know what would have happened if Kamala won? You wouldn't be able to do that anymore. Trump's America, DoorDash will go to bat for you if that happens to you. They say, you know what? This lost at the ballot box. You can do that. You can do whatever you want.
Don't let woke stop you.
Kamala, they'd be like, oh, you know, you got to put clothes on when there's people. It's like, enough. All right. Yeah.
America voted on that issue.
Yeah. Sorry that I love Chili's Triple Dipper so much that
I
have a
read
bond
some
with
article about how like Gen Z has shown out for Chili's, or maybe it was TGI Fridays. It was like Gen Z was having like a resurgence in Chili's or something.
Which one? I want to know now.
I gotta see if I can figure.
Because they're all really the same at the end of the day. So why pick one over the other? Was it Applebee's maybe?
It was not Applebee's, because how Chili's won Gen Z.
Yeah, Chili's.
August of this year.
I do see a lot of TikToks of Zoomers like going to dinner at Chili's. I do.
Chili's is another place where you get a rush, because when you eat the Triple Dipper, because you eat it fast, because you know it's the Triple Dipper, you start to feel your heart give out. And it's like such a rush, and you just chug a Diet Coke to lock back in, and then finish off your Southwestern egg roll. Oh my gosh, what a rush!
You know, I don't know if I've ever been to a Chili's.
I've never eaten at a Chili's or might have eaten at a TGI Fridays. I went to like Ruby Tuesday, and the absolute audacity of the prices there were mind-boggling. I was like, just you deserve to go out of business.
Ruby Tuesdays is the type of place where you would see people nude eating, and you wouldn't bat an eye. You'd be like, yeah, it's my fault. That's my fault for going to Ruby Tuesdays.
The Applebee's in Frederick is going out of business.
Really?
And that broke my heart a little bit, because like me and Olivia would go there for like half price appetizers after grocery
There
shopping.
are other Applebee's.
Yeah, but that one's close.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, who eats carburetors? Have you seen how much they cost lately? I could go to a Michelin star restaurant for less.
It's true.
I have not seen how much they cost lately. High Voltage 75 said, welcome back, Tate.
Thank
Mary,
you.
do you think... Oh, this is a good question. Do you think Tate is a mallow scorcher or warmer? So, don't answer yet.
Oh, I see. Yes.
The question is, do you warm your marshmallow at the campfire, or do you set it on fire?
Mm-hmm.
I think... You're hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Brett, what's your guess?
I think he's a warmer.
Why?
He has reasoned arguments for everything he does, and he delivers it in a mellow fashion. I think he's a warmer. He saves his hot takes for like the camera, not for his.
You know what? Yeah, I think you're a warmer. Am I right?
No, I scorch it, and when it's on fire, I chase people with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we were all
never
totally off.
Never let him guess your next move.
It's almost too.
Damn. This is just astrology for Mary.
Yeah, the campfire is too mellow sometimes. You know, some guy gets his guitar out, and it's like
you hate
gotta,
that.
You gotta, yeah, and that infuriates me. So I get the.
Well, then you just gotta throw his guitar in the fire.
And I torch it, and I get that, and I just brand people with it.
Yeah.
But no, I do love it, just like black.
The story we told the story at the wedding where me, Olivia, and Kat and Michael, two of her friends, were they had like an Airbnb we were staying at in town, and we were there, and there was like a fire pit there. That was like one of the selling points of this Airbnb, and Michael started playing Wonderwall on the guitar, and the best part was like I see the house across the street with the light on, and I was just like, you just know that the people that lived there was like, oh fuck, they're playing Wonderwall again. Like they're waiting for somebody to play something new. Granted, Michael played a bunch of other songs too, but I was just like, because maybe it's because it was around the time, it was after, but when Barbie came out, and it was like the thing with that was closing time. It wasn't that song, but the point was they just want to kick a man when he's trying to show you something he loves.
Wait, in Barbie they were playing
closing time.
I think they were playing.
Was it Wonderwall?
No, it might have been neither. What was that?
What was the song? Somebody in the chat. What was the song in Barbie that Ken is playing?
Push by Matchbox 20.
Was it?
I wanna push you
yes,
down,
they were.
And I will.
They were
that
playing
fired
Push.
me up, man. I love that movie.
That is a good song, by the way.
I mean, I'm all for Matchbox 20 in general.
Shane H. Wilder said curtilage is the area of land around a house, including driveway, front and backyard, and porch. You learn something new every day.
Something new every day.
Okay.
Let me just double check over here on.
I think we're all caught up.
And he was in his performance of the song was good. So if they were mad, it's on them.
Yeah.
It's not on.
I hated
it's not
that
on
scene.
Michael.
That was a bad scene.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to the channel, perhaps, if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share this episode with your friends, your family, your loved one, everybody that you know. The more people that you share with, the faster this channel can grow. Mary, you should chill some coffee.
Yes, I should. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Guys, go to castbrew.com and get yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend, as we were just talking about being around the campfire, roasting marshmallows, making s'mores. This is a s'mores flavored blend, and it's perfect for autumn. You should definitely try to get one before Halloween, because I think that's like extra special for.
And it's
I'm so sorry.
And it's in the serenity of a gymnasium. So
I'm
you have
so
the
sorry
hospital
that
lighting
that
bearing
happened
down
to
on
you.
you. I loved it. Now I dressed up as a monkey like 8 years in a row too, so I was consistent.
I was
very consistent in my principles.
Ninja every year.
It's pretty cool.
I changed it up.
Or a teenage mutant ninja turtle, but ninja was the through line on it.
I was a monkey for 8 years, and then I was Peyton Manning for like 6 years. So I didn't like to switch it up much. I didn't want to, I don't want to freak people out.
All right.
I bet you had some scary ones.
I dressed up as like an ex-convict. I don't know why that was a children's costume at Spirit Halloween one year. That was my costume. I dressed up as a bee.
Wait, an ex-convict?
Yeah, like you broke out of jail or whatever. Yeah, I don't know why I chose that.
You just like have a parole officer. You're just like dressed in normal clothes.
Yeah, I kind of just switched it up every year.
I respect that.
Anyways.
Right, we got 2 super chats that people were saying that the stream froze, so not my fault. It's not on the OBS side. So if it did, it's on the internet end. There's 2 more there from Shane H. Wilder.
Shane H. Wilder said, agreed, no one wants to hear Wonderwall. And we froze repeat your shilling.
For the coffee.
Oh, okay. You guys missed my whole shill?
Apparently.
What the hell? Guys, go to castbrew.com. Mary's Ghost Blend is currently on the featured homepage because I deserve that. And it is a s'mores flavored blend. And I was just saying, since we were debating about how you roast your marshmallows, it's s'mores flavored. It smells amazing. It has a nice smoky taste. It's not overwhelmingly sweet either, in case you were worried about that. Perfect for autumn. Make sure you get yourself a bag.
All right.
And you guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived, and help me get TikTok famous for all the right reasons. I'm not recording anybody in the nude. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. One more from Corey Anderson. He says, I dressed up as a nun for my last Halloween. Bold choice, bro.
Hate that.
All right. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. We are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It's a great way to help the channel out. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.